You know, I'd say at this point, I think I might have finally found a writer for this shark here. And believe it or not, it's a Jazwares toy. Hello, toy and Fortnite fans. I'm here with another of Jazwares 6-inch Legendary line Fortnite action figures. This time we're taking a look at Atlantean Fishstick, and this thing boasts 38 points of articulation. I love it. Legendary Series marker up there, we know that it's Fortnite. You know, I have to admit, I really do, even though this is not the most cost-effective packaging, and it's not the most recyclable packaging because it does have plastic involved, these figures look phenomenal in their window boxes. And this is something that, you know, we're getting taken away from with Hasbro, but Jazwares did really well. Also, in point of note, I kind of wish Jazwares was still doing their 6-inch line, but that's beside the point. So I do have a bunch of these. I'll be going down and reviewing them. This time we're looking at the Atlantean Fishstick. Of course, we get Fishstick here in his Atlantean gear, and he looks very much like Aquaman, and I believe that's kind of a nod and a point to the fact that at one point, Fortnite did have a DC crossover. He comes with these two Atlantean sides, which are really nice, and I love the gold work in them, and including that metallic green, it looks really, really good. We also get, of course, the back bling here, which is the Atlantean back bling. We get a gupper fish over here, which looks really nice and very sea-oriented. We get his mad, kind of serious base over here, which I like. And then we get the flare gun and a fishing rod with hook on it. And this fishing rod actually has a line on it. Now, if you remember correctly, we had the fishing rod with the shark, the upgrade shark, along with skis. And you could hook that fishing rod onto the shark and then put a character behind it. I did do a review of Dio and Siona. I just haven't edited it and put it out there yet because it still kind of upsets me. One of the things I noticed is the skis didn't actually fit Dio or Siona in that line either. And that is Hasbro's actual like battle royale set. So I'm wondering if Atlantean Fishstick might actually be able to wear the skis and if he would be a good fit for that upgrade shark over there, because C and C, it kind of makes sense, right? Now, in this packaging, we get, of course, Atlantean Fishstick, and this is the in-game computerized skin there. Let's head to the back. On the back, of course, we get Fortnite up here. We get Atlantean Fishstick, King of the Fishsticks. Nice. I love this. Fishstick is not a character I play in game. However, I do love the look of Fishstick, and this is very much as kind of one of those Fortnite standards. If you're going to have a Fortnite set of figures, you probably want to have a Fishstick. It includes one 6-inch figure and 7 accessories. And also out of the line, we get Scuba Jonesy, Blackheart, Kit in Shadow, Cyclo, which I believe is one of the Brawler size series, and Scratch. And Kit Shadow might be a Brawler size series too. I have come across Scratch. I haven't gotten him yet. It's one that is on my list, but not really. Scuba Jonesy is on my list, and one day I'm hoping to be able to get a hold of him. Now that's the packaging. And honestly, it's not going to tell us anything else about this figure. We need to get this one out and get to playing. And straight out of the package, of course, we have Fishstick here in his 6-inch form. We get that back bling, the flare gun, the fishing rod, the fish, his mad face, and some size. And there's quite a bit. I mean, for the original retail price of this being about $20, I think on Amazon it costs me a little bit more just because he's more out of a date figure, and he's kind of one of those beloved figures. But this is an incredible amount of stuff for one figure. And I kind of wonder if we can get most of this stuff on him without him having to have a whole bunch of extra. Let's find out. So with Fishstick here, we get his back bling. Now his back bling has 2 spots on the inside where you can actually take those sides and put them in to there, which is pretty nice. Of course, you can take that and attach it via peg on the back of him. Now, there's enough peg here that it actually sits out a little ways that it's hidden fairly well, but his sides kind of pop up over the top of his head. Now, as far as him being able to hold these sides, they're pretty good. Pretty good. Before we get too much into the rest of his stuff, let's break down articulation. So with him, he's got, of course, the ball jointed, it's a ball hinged head here. Now, one thing is his head is oversized, so it definitely hinders a lot of the movement, especially with his face on. He can look up about that far, look down about that far, left, right. He can pretty much turn that all the way around, but there's not a lot of up and down just because of the way that this head is sculpted. Now, with that, he does have a ball jointing here in the torso, and it's got some pretty decent movement. There is a lot of hindrance with the way that this is created, but it's one of those, for what we're getting with him, it's very excusable. There is no waist articulation. That's something to keep in mind. Now, he does have ball hinged shoulders up here, and these are kind of in the way, but I don't think they're going to hinder too much. So with that, he can, tight joints here. He can go up about that far on each arm. Let's see. Yep. So he's got a pretty good range of movement there. And these aren't going to bother anything. Of course, he has the swivel here at the bicep, double hinged elbows, hinge at the wrist, those trigger fingers, which we'll take this here flare gun, put it in his hand, and he holds that actually pretty well. Now, as far as legs, he can go out about that far, so split wise can't really do it, but not too bad. Hello. He does have that thigh that goes up, so it's kind of a ball hinge. He does have the thigh cut here, and there's a little bit of hindering with these leg plates here, kind of like the leg plates that Aquaman has on his legs as well, so kind of a nod to that. He does have the double hinge knees, and they go back about that far, which is nice on each leg. And then he has, of course, his flipper feet. Now, the problem with his flipper feet is they're not big feet, so he has some issues standing, but his feet rock back and forth. You've got the cut on the foot that allows it to turn either way, and then the toe cut that moves up as well. So I found with my Atlantean Fishstick, he likes to fall over quite a bit. Now, as far as changing out that faceplate, you just rip off the other face. You can just stick the other face back on. There you go. He's looking a little more seriously at me now that I have torn off his face. And then we have what's left is the fishing rod and the gupperfish. Now, the gupperfish actually has kind of an open mouth. I dig this thing a lot. This is a lot of fun. So if he wants to hold the gupperfish, you can put his hand in there and he can go noodling. If you all know, if some of you know what noodling is, I applaud you. For those who don't know what noodling is, that's where you would go out into a river and stick your finger out like a worm and let the fish bite your finger, and then you'd grab that fish. Now, with this fishing rod, it does have the cloth line on it. You can pull this off like this, but it doesn't pull away any further. It, however, has a lot of beautiful detail here with the rod itself and each one of these being painted. You've got a semi-rigid hook here that's kind of rigid, but not too rigid. And you can actually hook your gupperfish on the end of that rod. So if you wanted to, you could put his hand up here on the fishing pole. Let's see if I can get him to hold that correctly. Wowie kazowie. For the most part, I can pretty much like pose him with all this stuff except for his faceplate, which is pretty nice. Alright, now as far as him here, I did want to, because I mentioned about the shark, and I wanted to see kind of how he looks on the shark. He actually rides that shark really well, and he looks really good on that shark. This is one of those where I think I might have finally found a display unit for my shark, because I'm not sure how many of the Hasbro figures I'm getting versus the Jazwares, and I love the Jazwares, so I need something for my shark here. So for him, he does fit on that shark nicely. As far as back bling, he does not wear that sushi pack. That sushi pack does not fit. And then as far as his feet, let's see. They'll fit in there, but the pegs on the Hasbro are way too small, so he doesn't actually fit that. One comparison I did want to make between the two is I did want to look at the Jazwares fishing rod versus the Hasbro fishing rod. And the Jazwares fishing rod, I feel, is set up more for a collector because it's definitely stylized in a way that feels more like them, whereas the Hasbro one, it's more playful, but it's also it's a lot smaller. I've noticed a lot smaller, has less paint application. It doesn't. I don't know. This feels playful, which I think works out because if you have someone skiing behind your shark, you want to have it to where this can hook onto the shark and you can do your thing. But comparing the two, this has a little bit of paint app. It's got the lion sculpted in, but then that's it. Whereas this, all of this is the line. And look at the flex on this. This is a really solid piece of good, like, just craftsmanship. I think this looks amazing. And comparing the two, even the size of the two, like, this feels more like it's set for a 6-inch figure. This feels more like a 5-inch figure. But then it's supposed to be for a 6-inch figure. So even on the 6-inch line, this feels rather small. I don't know. And that's a review of Atlantean Fishstick from the Legendary Fortnite line from Jazwares. I absolutely love this figure. The colors on it are solid. The look of them is solid. The paint application on them is solid. This is one of those really incredible action figures that at first I might have passed up, but I'm really super glad to have in my collection. There's a small, like, grouping of subtleties, even in the paint app, with like the silver and gold and the way that things are painted, that just, it makes it worthwhile. The airbrushing is solid. This really feels like a very nice Fortnite collector's piece for Fortnite collectors, which is kind of what I thought the Legendaries lines would be. I think it's worth it. If you're one of those Fortnite fans and you're looking to have a version of Fishstick in, this is definitely one that I think would be prime for you to pick up. It's got a nice DC touch to it. It's got a nice Fortnite touch to it. And it really sells the character quite a bit. I think it's a really good figure all in all. Now, I picked mine up on Amazon, and I know that they are still available out there. I've been hearing rumors about some of these hitting areas like Kohl's and Marshall's. You just have to go out and shop and look for it. They are starting to go up in price, especially now that Jazwares no longer has the 6-inch Fortnite licensing. So it's definitely something that you'd want to pick up as soon as you can. Now, that's all I got to say about Atlantean Fishstick. Remember, they're not dolls. Action figures. Action figures with really good looking fishing rods. It's been forever since I've gone fishing. When I'm not recording videos here on YouTube, I'm actually over on a podcast on marvindogmedia.com called Talking Toys with Taylor and Jeff. It's a really cool toy podcast. Be sure to check it out. Also, I need your help getting my YouTube channel to grow. Be sure to subscribe down below with that big red button. Hit that bell for notifications so you can be alerted of anything that comes from me to you. Like this video, it helps YouTube know that you like what I'm making, and comment down below. I like chatting with you all.